legend, the 5th highest goal scorer for the club of all time, possibly the fastest attacking footballer there's ever been in the game. It is, of course, Super Mac, Malcolm Macdonald. Welcome to the club. Well, you know what? It was a few years ago, but they still love you.
Yes, they've got long memories here, thank heavens.
Well, you had a great time, didn't you, here at this club? But I was chatting to you in the green room earlier about how quick you were on the field. I mean, you know, you were known for that burst of pace. And I asked you earlier whether you'd ever been a sprinter. Tell us the story.
Yes, at school I used to win the sprints, and so somebody suggested that I go join an athletics club, and I went to South London and joined Herne Harriers, and the coaches there, they work brilliantly with young people, and they get your style. Later on, when I was at I was doing Superstars.
Which was brilliant.
It was a wonderful programme to take part in. It really was. And I met some wonderful, great people. But Ron Pickering was one of the commentators, the great athletics coach. And I remember winning the sprint there in Malmö. And I ran 10.4 for the 100 metres. And at the end, he signalled me to go up to the commentary position up in the stand, and I went up, and he said, incredible time. He said, you realise you've just run 10.4. I said, oh no, I didn't realise. And the world record at the time was 9.9, so it's just half a second. And he said, and if I were your trainer, if I were coaching you and training you, he said, I'd take half a second minimum off everybody. He said, so you probably break the world record, but then you're a professional, so I don't want to know.
Yeah,
it was all amateur and professional.
Well, athletics loss was football's gain. But when you were here playing for Newcastle in the 70s, they were tough times, weren't they?
Well, they were, and not so much in football, but generally, because it became the 3-day week, and it really hit the northeast severely, and so people found it difficult to be able to afford to go and see football. The gate slumped and what have you. And so, life, it was very difficult for everybody. I had opened a business, and we tried to stay open 6 days a week, and we for 3 days of the week we had to put gas lighting in, you know, the portable gas lighters and what have you.
No, they were very
people would come back with a pair of trousers saying, they're blue, I thought they were black.
No, they were tough times. Now, the club, having quite a good season in the Premier League this year.
They're having a brilliant season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody is so enjoying it, I think, because we've had a very, very tough 14 years under Mike Ashley, who pretty much asset stripped in a number of ways.
Strong words.
Yes, but that was the case, sadly, I think. But
Malcolm...
And now we're Malcolm, just seeing a little bit of investment, and
we're seeing investment.
All things can happen.
No, I understand that fully. The Saudi Arabians have an awful lot of money. And they're getting into boxing, and they're getting into snooker, they're getting into golf, and they've bought this football club. Is that the right thing for Newcastle?
I think if you ask around, everybody would say yes, because would you rather the Saudis who are there now or Mike Ashley? And I think everybody would agree that it would be the Saudis.
Is Malcolm right about that? Hands up who thinks Malcolm's right about that. And hands up who thinks he's wrong. No, you've got a big majority. No.
OK.
But it's just, you know, we always get this, don't we? You know, the human rights record in Saudi Arabia, all of these things. There's a bidding war going on in Manchester right now between the Qataris and Jim Ratcliffe. All I'm saying to you, Malcolm, is You know, in the end, doesn't the English Premier League need to keep some sense of Englishness?
Yes, but it's very difficult to do because it's become such a money-orientated business now as to what it was before it was the Premier League. For example, the Glazers at Manchester United, they bought Manchester United some years back, and it was for less than 800 million. They're now talking, just a few years later, of it being sold for 6 billion.
Yeah, I know.
It's a colossal increase, and so what we have is the Premier League is bringing in massive financial players from all around the world, and of course, the amount of advertising that is there to be had is quite incredible. I asked a friend of mine, a guy I know quite well. He's a big Newcastle fan. He's got an advertising agency, and I said, "Can you just roughly tell me how much it would cost a year for Mike Ashley to have all the Sports Direct advertising?" And he said, "Ooh," he said, "with all the minutes that there are on television." He said he's probably getting about £1 billion a year in advertising. You know, so
I get it.
No wonder he wanted to get in on the act in the Premier Division.
I get it. Well, thank you for your comments. And can you just imagine what you'd be paid these days?
Yes, and also I wouldn't be paying 92.5% tax.
Malcolm Macdonald, everybody. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.